Hello, I'm Vanessa and I run several jewelry courses in London, and today we're going to make some jewelry. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a silver charm. To begin with, you will need some silver. I have 2 pieces of silver here. The silver I'm using, the thickness is 0.5 of a millimeter. You could use up to 0.8 of a millimeter. You will also need some cutting shears. This is a metal cutting shears. You will also need some files. These are little needle files. I have a flat file and a half round file to file the edges. You may need a scriber, which is a drawing tool that you could use for drawing your design on metal. And if you wish, you could use a ruler if you would like your silver charms to be a particular size. You will also need a pair of flat nose pliers, a pair of needle nose pliers, and you will need a mallet, a center punch, and a steel block to make a hole, and a drill. I have in the drill a 1 millimeter drill bit. The first step is to measure your charm. The width of my silver is 1 centimeter. So I'm going to make 1 centimeter charm. I place my ruler next to the silver and use a scriber to mark 1 centimeter. I then use the set square to draw the line across. I place the metal, I'm holding the square in front of me. I place the metal behind the square so the metal is away from me. Use my finger to secure the metal onto the set square and use the scriber to draw a straight line. As I'm using cutting shears to cut my metal, the thickest metal to use is 0.8 of a millimeter, but the best thickness is to use 0.5 of a millimeter, which is a fairly thin sheet of metal, and it would allow you to cut slightly more organic shapes. When you use the shears, the metal tends to be quite sharp, and you will need to file the edges with some needle files. You hold the piece in your finger together quite firmly, rest your hand on your table or your bench, and you file along the edges. For my shape, it's just on the square, just the corners are quite sharp. Now I have my pieces of silver, and you need to decide now where you're going to put the holes to hang them. I'm going to hang them so that they hang like a triangle. And before I could drill them, I need to make a little mark so that I have the mark to guide the drill bit into the correct place. I position the center punch. This you can purchase at a hardware store, and this is a leather mallet. You could use any hammer, a DIY hammer would be fine, but don't apply too much pressure. Just hammer it lightly once, just enough to make a little mark. Bring down the drill bit to guide the drill to where my hole is before I turn on the machine, so I know that it's in the correct place. I turn on the machine, make the hole, and turn off. Now, when I've used the cutting shears, it bent the edges of the metal a little bit, so I'm going to straighten them out by hammering on a steel block. Whenever you're hammering metal, you always want to hammer on a steel block with a leather mallet. If you use a metal hammer, it will mark silver. Now your charms are ready to be added on to either a bracelet or earrings. And this is how you make a silver charm.